What's up, guys? Back here again with another video. If you're new to the channel, my name is Antonio, and here we do business videos, real estate videos, investment videos, and just a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff is coming your way. So if you're interested in this type of content, be sure to tap that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. Helps out the channel tremendously. So enough of that. Let's get started with this video. Alright guys, so today I'm going to be going over how to get rich using the BRRR method. Now, the BRRR stands for buying, rehabbing, renting, and repeating. The first step here is going to be the buying process. So when we're buying a property, we're going to have to do our homework. You have to make sure that this property makes you a profit at the end of the month. So it's pretty much your mortgage, your utilities, your expected vacancies, and just other miscellaneous expenses. Once you add all that up, and if you're still bringing in more money, that means that we're cash flowing. So I'll just do a little demonstration here on the board. You see here. Yeah, guys, so I got my board behind the nice wallpaper, so it's pretty dope. So I'm gonna just go over here what cash flow is. So got him! Got him! So let's say that we're spending $1,500 on the mortgage. $1,500 on the mortgage. Okay. Utilities, I would say 300. 300 for the utilities. So we got 300 for utilities, the mortgage, and usually landlords put 75% as like a law as the expected time that someone's gonna be there. So I think roughly I would add another, say, $500. $500 if you're just kind of doing an estimate here of what your vacancies are going to look like during the year. So let's just say, so we got $1,500 plus the $500, because I know that if I miss a few months from, say, a bad tenant, well, I'll probably, this is just a rough estimate, it depends on the property. Just for example, it's $500, then we got $1,500, and then $300 for utilities, and that's just a rough estimate, guys. So right here we're sitting at $2,300. So $2,300. So I would have to probably charge the family $3,000. So if we charge them the $3,000, now we see the difference there. We see the gap from here to here. That's $700. So that would be our profit. That would be what we're making on the property. So this is what I mean, that you really have to do your homework, do your due diligence, and make sure that this thing's gonna cash flow. And if you're not in real estate, if you're not a real estate agent, or if you're not directly in the business, there's many offices that you can go to, and they'll actually help you when you're investing. So, things to look out for, make sure they have good reviews, make sure that, they're pleasant people, they look like they're doing the right things, the legal things. We all know what a good business and a bad business looks like. So, just, go in there and get a feel for it, and they'll probably give you a good idea if something's going to cash flow or not, if you're not sure. But, it's not that crazy. You just add up all your bills on that property, and then you subtract the difference of your rent by all the bills. And right here we got $700, so we're doing good. Guys, the next step to BRRR is rehabbing. So a little tip here, if you do have a lot of free time on your hands, then I guess you can just go and get a handyman, and you and him team up on fixing up the property and getting it up to current code. Or if you're very busy, or you're just a little busy, you can always hire a general contractor with amazing reviews. Now, you have to make sure that it's someone that's putting in quality work, because you're going to have tenants in there. And also, this is your investment, because in 10, 15 years down the line, this thing's going to be worth double, triple. So you want to take care of your investment. So it's very vital that you have good people when you're renovating your property. Tip: when you are renovating your property, you're gonna want to not cheap out, because when you're cheaping out up front, like for example, if you install all carpet in the whole house, you may save money up front, but it's gonna make the home less desirable, and which equals less rent money. But not only are you getting less rent money, but you're going to have to replace those carpets in 3 to 4 years. And it's going to cost you a ton of money. Now, compare that to installing some really nice, high quality hardwood floors, or maybe some life-proof laminate, or any other really high quality laminate. That's going to last you 10, 15 years. And you're going to get amazing rents. You're going to get the most you can for rents. And people are not going to complain, because they're going to see the amazing floor patterns. They're going to see, hey, I really don't have to deal with this thing giving me issues. I don't have to deal with odors from the carpet. So, always when you're renovating, in my experience, just don't be cheap up front, because, it's just going to be more of a headache. Let's say you buy this property right here, but then, everything went smooth. Everything's nice. The carpet got installed, but then maybe in 2 to 3 years, you have more projects now. Maybe you have 4 or 5 houses that you're working on to renovate, and then boom, you get a phone call. Hey, my carpet has mold. My carpet has this horrible odor. My carpet has this horrible odor to it. My carpet just ripped. So you're trying to focus on 4 or 5 projects, and maybe you have other stuff going on in business as well. How are you going to feel when you have to go and pay all this money to go and install hardwood floors when you should have done it in the first place, So always think 10 to 15 years in the future. This is your investment. Before hopping into the next topic, I want to give you a little pro tip. When you are looking for properties, you have to make sure that what you're buying is not going to cost you a fortune to fix. So typically when you're going to be buying the property, you just want cosmetic updates, like maybe some light kitchen updates, some flooring updates, some paint, very basic things. A bad roof, bad plumbing, bad electrical can cost you up to hundreds of thousands of dollars, and a property that's $1 million or less. If it's a property that's $1 million and over, you're talking $2, $3, $4, $500,000 in fixing. And if you don't have the experience, you end up losing money on the property. So same thing as when you're buying a car. If you're buying a used Toyota, I'm going to buy it with some, bad paint. I just have to update the chairs. If it needs a whole new engine and a whole new transmission, and the shocks are blown out, I'm not going to buy it. It's going to cost more to fix it, right? So same logic when you're buying your investment property. Now I'm going to be going over rent. How do I know what this thing's going to rent for after repairs? So it's a little thing called ARV. So when you are getting your property, you have to know your numbers. So I'm just going to do a little explanation here on the board, and I'm going to be showing you guys what ARV exactly is. So ARV, this stands for after repair value. So I'll get another marker here and I'll write it down. After repair value. So after repair value. So we know that I'll be buying a property, for example, $500,000, right? So I know I could lock this puppy up for $500,000. So I'll put $500,000, right? So I send out my contractor out there, and he's gonna tell me, "Hey, Antonio, this thing it's gonna be about $60,000. It needs some brand new paint. It needs new floors. The kitchen needs to be updated. The bathrooms need to be updated. A lot of old cosmetic work needs to be done. 60,000's what it's gonna look like. So I'm buying it for 500, right? This is an example of a good deal. So 500, and then we're gonna, add another 60,000 in expenses. So right here we're at 560, right? So 560,000 bucks. So I do my research. I hop on to, everyone has access to this. Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com. Everyone has access to those. But, I am a realtor here in California, so I do have access to the MLS. So I have a better idea. But, you guys can use any of the other apps. Those big commercial apps, those are perfect. So, I'm going to see if this thing's on a 123 Apple Street. And it's that homes with similar spec to this property are selling for $700,000. So I jump on the MLS and I type in 123 Apple Street, and then I see what the neighbor sold for, what the house down the street sold for. And, my thing is, say, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,000 square feet. So I see that the let's for example, let's see that the Johnsons sold down the street for 700, and they had a 3-2, 2,050 square foot house. So that gives me a really good sample of what my property is going to be worth. So this is an example of an amazing deal. You have instant equity here because I know I'm going to be in this thing 560, and when I'm done renovating it, it's going to be 700,000. So 700,000. So you do the math. 700 minus 560, that leaves me with about 140. So right here, we're pocketing $140,000 in equity. So in future classes, I'm going to be showing you guys how refinances work and how you can actually pull out your money tax-free. So right there, 140,000 bucks we made, and like I said, because we can go to the bank and borrow against this property, we can pretty much get that 140K back in our pockets, and then we can use that money to get into another deal. So that's what's beautiful about BRRRR. It does take a substantial amount of money, but it's definitely worth it. That this is what I'm looking to do in the future, because I'm relatively new to the real estate, but I'm starting to learn a lot of this stuff. So boom, 140. I got instant equity. The beautiful part about the real estate, guys, that's just instant equity. In 5, 10, 15 years, this thing's not going to be worth 700,000. It's going to be worth 1.5, 1.8, 2 million. Like 15 years down the road, this thing's worth 2 million or more. Especially if you're buying it here in Los Angeles. Los Angeles, there's so much demand, so the value just keeps going up and up and up. So that's just the last part here. Next, we're going to be going over the repeating process. Okay, so next I'm going to be doing a little brief explanation of refinance. Now, this is going to be brief. I will be doing a future video on a full explanation breaking down refinance, but let's get this thing started. So, like I said, I had that 140,000, right, guys? So from that last math I did, we made 140,000, right? Because we can go to the bank and they can see, hey, Antonio bought this property for 500. He fixed it up. He made improvements. So now this thing's worth 700. Wow. So now that original loan that we had, we can go to the bank and say, hey, can you give me a new loan that's 700,000? And then that's where we see that difference. Because originally we had that loan for 500, but then, we raise it up to 700. But then, we go to the bank, we tell them, hey, we improved it. You give them what they want, boom. In 6 months, after you buy the property, renovate it, they're going to allow you to do this. So you have 140K that can be used for the next deal. So if, say, maybe 2-3 miles, I see a house for say 450, and I know that it's worth 600 grand. Okay, guys, so the next step is going to be refinancing our property. So like I said, we are getting that 140,000 from the bank, right? Because they saw that we made improvements to this thing and now it's worth 700. So we got an extra 140,000. Now we're going to go into the next deal. So the bank said, "Hey, you know what? You're going to be able to cash out 140K. You keep that nice property you got right there for 700, and you're going to be able to keep running it out and keep owning that asset." So now, let's say, for example, we find something about 2 miles away that's worth 450. So right here I have 140,000 to play with. So the next deal is 450,000, right? The bank is gonna want 20%. So I did my due diligence and I saw that this 450 house is gonna be worth 625 after I fix it. My contractor said it's gonna be worth about 625. So plus he's gonna be charging me $40,000. So right here, 40,000 plus the 450, we're at 490,000. ARV is gonna be 625. So right there, guys, it's about $135,000 spread. So is this a good deal or a bad deal? I would say it's a good deal. So we know that we're gonna be making 135 grand. This is an awesome deal. So I tell the bank, "Hey, you know what? We built an amazing relationship. Let me put down 20% to buy this new deal." So this new deal is worth 450. So right there, you see, guys, I'll show it on the computer. 450 times 450 times 20%. So right there, 90,000, guys. Isn't that awesome? We're going to be able to have enough money to renovate the new property and our down payment, which is insane. So it's going to cost us 90,000, right? So this new deal, it's going to cost us about 90,000 plus, usually it's about 10,000 in closing cost, all the escrow, the title fees, and all that good stuff. So to get into the property, they're going to want 100,000 because we are investors. You know, people say, "Hey, I'm a first-time buyer. Can I do it with 3.5? Well, you can do it with 3.5 when you're a first-time buyer. But when you are an investor, they want 20%. They want more skin in the game. They want more commitment out of you. So, we know it's 100,000, and we know that our contractor is going to bill us 40,000 to, do some light paint work and probably some basic tile work. It's probably going to cost him 5,000. He's going to charge you 40,000 though. 40,000 bucks. So we know it's 1,000 plus 40,000. And how much did we have in that equity that we built, that we got out of the other property? 140,000. So it's actually the perfect amount here. So you have that other asset, right? You have that house at 700K, right? The bank's gonna love you because you're helping them, you're stimulating the economy, you're providing housing, you're just doing so many great things, and you're also helping yourself out at the same time. So now I have this property, 700,000. In 15 years, this thing's worth double or triple. So we know that we're walking into this next deal. Now I'm gonna own 2 properties. So I'll own the 700,000. Sorry guys, my drawing's awful. So 700,000, and then I'll own this one, which is 700. This one's 625. So my net worth here, let's do the math here. This is just off of 2 deals, guys. Off of just 2 deals, our net worth with our properties is going to be 700 plus 625. So 700. Sorry, guys. I'm awful at math. So 700 plus 625. Jesus. Okay, guys. So 700 plus 625. So right there, you guys have it. 1.325. So our net worth is 1.325. So in 6 months, I've been scouting for a deal, scouting for a deal, scouting for a deal. Heck, I mean, these properties might have gone up already with the crazy demand that there is for housing in places like LA, New York. You know, this thing probably went up to 750. This thing probably went up to 675 in another 6 months because of how the market is right now. Right now, as I'm speaking, it's early to mid 20. It's mid 2021, and right now it's a seller's market. So 700 plus 625, your net worth is 1.325. Now you can pull out some equity from these if you want to go into the next deal. There you go. You can get a third property. So that's what's beautiful about real estate. If you do it right and you don't over leverage yourself, you can keep earning the bank's trust. That's going to wrap it up for this video. The last step you have to do is just repeat all this process. So buying it, you're rehabbing it, you're refinancing it, and you're repeating. Okay? Buying, rehabbing, refi, and repeating. So I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. It took me about 2 to 3 years to exactly learn what BRRRR is, but you know, now I know a lot more about it, and I'll still keep educating myself. If new things come up, new rules, new regulations, I'll definitely post up a new video. But guys, if you have any questions whatsoever, drop them down in the comment section. Real estate, investing, you know, something that's on your mind. You know, just keep it positive in the comment section. I don't want to see nothing crazy down there, but I do appreciate you guys' time. And be sure to follow me on Instagram, and I will post any new videos that are coming out on there. So if you guys are on those platforms, you'll be the first. I hope you learned a lot, and I hope you have a great day.